Welcome to the Catholic Life Coach Podcast. My name is Carla Fitz. I'm a certified life coach, wife, and mom of two beautiful little girls and a handsome little boy. My hope for this podcast is to support and empower other Catholic women to live their most authentic life, to share life coaching tools from a Catholic perspective in order to help you live a more fulfilling and aligned life filled with peace, joy, and abundance. Let's get started. Hello, my loves, and welcome to this week's episode. I am so excited. This is the very first episode I record on my own here in my beautiful and beloved Assisi. I am so excited to be here and to be sitting in this beautiful window that God granted me for this last couple of weeks and the next couple of weeks. So blessed to be here in Assisi. You guys, this has been one of the craziest journeys in my life, and I am so unbelievably grateful to have been able to say yes to this dream of ours, to have been able to see it come to fruition. If you have been with me from the very beginning of the podcast, you at some point, I am sure, have heard me talk about our dream of traveling. I feel like I spent so many months, not even that, like over a year and a half to 2 years, speaking this dream into existence, just practicing convincing my mind that it was perhaps possible to achieve this. And it's funny because, one of the things I coach the most on now is really stepping boldly into the person God is calling us to be. I talk about this all the time in the podcast because I think it's so important for us to be authentic, for us to say yes to the things that God is calling us to go after, and not necessarily what other people think we should or should not do. You have to understand something. When you step into your dreams, when you step in bold yeses to God and you say yes to the big things that seem completely impossible, there will always be people that will not like it. Just want to get that out there. There will be people that do not like it. They think it's crazy. They think it's irresponsible. It doesn't matter. The point is, there will always be people that do not like your dreams. However, there will always be people that might not like your dream at the beginning, but that always come around. Those are the single most amazing people to always keep in your court, in your side with you, because they always walk the journey with you. When you start stepping into your dreams, one of the things that you will notice is that you start changing. You start practicing new beliefs, and then you have to do things differently. Like for us, we had to leave everything behind, right? There were things that we had to do in order for us to be able to do this trip. My husband had to leave his job, and I stepped more into my business, and it was uncomfortable. I'm not going to say that it wasn't. It was very uncomfortable, but it was 100% worth it. When you feel shaky, that's when you are going in the right direction. Now, we did not just, for lack of a better word, irresponsibly made that decision to leave my husband's job. We had saved up. We had grown this business, for one. And for two, it was a very on-purpose decision because we felt God was truly calling us to trust. It was just that moment where literally what we heard in one of the gospels in our church was, it's time for you to let go what you think it's safe and good, and let me give you what is meant for you. And that is exactly what has been happening to us in the past 3 months. So much growth has happened, and I am so unbelievably grateful for that. Because for each one of us, we would have never gone to the places we went and have met the people we have met so far if it was not because of this bold, uncomfortable yes. And I am just so grateful. And I hope that as you hear this, you keep something in mind. This type of lifestyle, this dream, creating your dreams, co-creating your dreams, is not reserved for unicorns. I remember one of my coaches saying, I am not a unicorn. I was able to achieve my goals, yes, but it's not reserved for certain people. The way I love to explain this to my clients is God did not go through a factory of babies and say, oh, this baby will achieve her dreams, this baby will not. This baby will achieve her goals and this one will not. This one will be successful and this one will not. That is not how it happened, right? A lot of this falls into 3 things. It falls into mindset work, it falls into decision makings, and it falls into trust. It falls into letting go of what we think is best and letting God unfold the plan exactly the way He is going to unfold it, because His plans are always 100% way better than ours. We think we know best. We want to control the situation. We think, well, this is how it should happen. But really, we need to sit back and let Him create and co create with us. When we are in the process of co-creating our dreams with God, one of the things that happens is you start hearing the voice of the Holy Spirit in your mind and God leading you in a certain direction. Perhaps it's call this person up, try this, or He puts a person in your mind to reach out, or He puts an idea in your mind and you go for it, right? Those things, when you clean up the thoughts and the lies that are moving around in your brain, just constantly spinning in your mind, when you stop spending so much time in the spinning of your mind and instead you step into trust and into surrender and into checking in with God more often, you start hearing the voice of the Holy Spirit within you so much better. You have less drama, less fears, less doubt, less terrible self-talk, that all it does is darken the voice of God within you. It makes it blurry. You're not too sure. You don't know if you're supposed to trust that voice or not. You don't really know what voice is which. And therefore, you start to not trust those dreams and those desires in your hearts. I think when we're younger, we have a dream and we're just like, oh, wouldn't that be awesome? And I think that is something we lose as we get older. We don't tell ourselves, wouldn't that be awesome? But really open our hearts to co-creating it with Jesus. The truth is, in every step of this journey, it's never about us. It's all about the people that God needs us to meet, and the people that are meant to be touched, and how it's going to help us and our family grow closer to Him. It's all to glorify Him. But as you become that person that God calls you to be, like I said at the beginning, things will change. You will change, because there are habits that you're going to have to leave behind you in order to become this new version of you. Hey there, it's me, Carla Fitz. I wanted to interrupt the podcast to share something amazing with you. If you have been feeling the nudge in your heart to reconnect with yourself and God in a deeper way, I want to personally invite you to something truly special. This November, I am hosting the Radiant Soul Retreat in Assisi, Italy. Yes, Assisi, the land of Saint Francis, Saint Clare, San Rufino, and Blessed Carlo Acutis. This retreat is for Catholic women who are ready to rediscover the woman God created them to be through beauty, prayer, coaching, community, and rest. We will spend 7 days in the heart of Italy, soaking up the peace of Assisi, walking in the footsteps of the saints, and creating space for God to move within our hearts and our lives. If you are craving clarity, alignment, and simply time to breathe and hear His voice again, this is for you. Spots are limited. Payment plans are also available. If you want to learn more, head to my website, carlafitz.com, and get into the retreat. Or you can also go into the description of the podcast, and in there you will find the link to apply today. I would love to walk with you in the streets of Assisi. Sending you so many blessings and hope to see you soon. Perhaps, like I said at the beginning, there will be people that you might need to leave behind. In my case, I have not had to leave very many people. For the most part, everybody just kind of comes around to our decision. They come around, even though they might not like it at the beginning. They always come around. I'm going to give you an example, actually. When we had to tell my parents that we were leaving and that we were going to be leaving for 3 months, one thing that is important to this story is that my kids are my parents' only grandchildren. And that is really, really hard. And it was very difficult telling them. But to be fully honest, it didn't take them long to realize how happy we were, how much this is in alignment with whom we are meant to be, how God has been providing in every step of the way. You guys cannot emphasize this enough, how much He has provided for us. When we got to Assisi, I'm all over the place, but I'm going to share this really quick and then go back. When we got to Assisi, we got welcomed by this lady. Her husband was the one that welcomed us in the train station. And he was like, Carla? And I'm like, yes. all, scared because it was 8:30 at night. I'm like, what in the world? Why do you know my name? And he's like, Rosa sent me so that I could pick you up because he doesn't want your baby to get wet in the rain. And I'm like, what? Like, it was raining and she had sent her husband to so beautifully take us to the apartment that literally took us about 30 seconds to get to in the car. But as a very sweet Italian woman, she did not want my baby to be getting sick and get wet, which was so sweet. And just being welcomed like that is when you see God all around you. He's always protecting you. He's always providing. That night we got to Assisi and it was really late. Everything was closed. We had no water left on us and no food left on us. And I was just like, well, God, I know you'll provide. And literally, this woman brought pasta and food and bananas and water for us. And she even ended up bringing the most amazing beer for Jeremy, which, by the way, has become just Jeremy's favorite during this whole trip. And that provision is something that I cannot plan for. I just can't. And that is something you need to trust. When you are stepping into this version of yourself, you need to trust that God is going to provide in the most amazing way possible. Now, going back to the story of like, there will be changes that you need to make, and there will be people you need to most likely leave behind, not necessarily not be in their lives anymore, but just not let their influence be your center, be your guiding point. You need to be able to detach from their expectations of you. You need to be able to detach from who they think you are. They might not like it. They might not like the new version of you, and that is okay. I just need you to know that that is okay. God always provides the most amazing people to support us in this path of growth and becoming. I'm going to give you an example. My closest friend I've ever had, my best friend from, goodness, the beginning of college, she has been my bestie for the last almost 15 years. We have been through so many changes in our lives, gone in different paths in our lives. And there's two things that have kept us together. And we were just talking about this last night. There are two things that are the reason why we are still besties. Why I trust her so much, why she trusts me so much, why it never gets old when I get to talk to her, and there's never enough time in the day to be able to talk to my friend. And we have grown in very different directions, but there are two things that remain. One is the respect that we have for one another and how much we support each other's dreams and desires, even though sometimes it's hard. And the other is God. God has been in the center of our relationship always. And I cannot tell you how grateful I am for that. My friend is not Catholic, but her trust, belief, and surrender to God is unbelievable. And she has always been such a beautiful example of that for me. And I'm always so grateful to have her in my life. Have there been moments where it has not been easy? Yes. There's been challenges. There's been disagreements. And those are going to happen. But what I want to tell you is to not be so scared of losing people and negotiating with this idea that, well, I don't want to do this because this person might not like me, that person might not like me. Do not negotiate God's calling upon someone else's expectation of you. If they are truly meant to be in your life and they're going to help you grow and get closer to God and help you become the saint that you are meant to become, they will be part of your life. No matter the challenges, like I mentioned, my friend and I have had disagreements, and she has always come around to the changes in my life. Even this season of traveling, it took them a while to get used to the idea, but she was always by my side. And I am so unbelievably grateful for that. And the challenges, the disagreements are opportunities for you to get clarity. Their challenges are there to give you perspective. They're allowed to give you perspective if you welcome their perspective, that is. But there will be people that just simply will never agree with you. And that is okay. I imagine a rose trying to grow, but if you leave all the weeds around it, if you just keep trying to please everyone around it, if the rose is like, well, I'm just going to keep small because I want to fit in with the weeds, is that worth it? To me, the answer to that is no. Absolutely not. If staying by the side of the people that are not good for you, that are not helping you grow closer to God, that are not encouraging you to challenge yourself and to grow into the person God is calling you to be, please be willing to let them go. I'm not saying shun them and push them away. That's not what I mean. But be willing to the possibility, to be open to the possibility that they might not like it. Be okay with not being liked by every single person. Be okay with making people uncomfortable, because that's going to happen. It's okay. You are okay. God is always with you, and you need to know something. When it comes to these decisions of, do we go after the dreams and desires God is placing in our hearts, or do we stay small and pretend we don't want it so that we can continue to fit in our current circle? You're basically telling yourself, do I choose these humans in my life, or do I choose God? When I came across this question was the morning I was going to tell my parents that we were leaving for 3 months. And I did not want to disappoint my parents. I did not want to hurt them. I did not want to make them cry. And that morning I decided, do I want to keep my parents quote unquote happy and not expose them to our growth? Or do I want to please God? By then I knew God was calling us to this. I knew it. There was no doubt in my mind that this is where he was calling us to. And that morning we took the step. We told my parents. It was super scary. They cried. We cried. And little by little, I just gave them space to feel their emotions, to go through their thoughts, to, of course, be sad, to, of course, be scared, because not only are they my parents, they are my husband's parents-in-law, and they very much love him. And they are my kids' grandparents. That moment was difficult to swallow and to do, but ultimately, I don't want to ever choose to please another person over God. And I hope you don't either. I hope you say yes. I hope you say bold yeses. And I hope you let yourself dream big and go after the things that God is calling you to do, because you are meant to co-create them with him. I'm not saying you are meant to create them on your own and struggle and strive and just leave God out of the window and not have him anymore. That's not what I mean. That's why I always say it. We are meant to co-create this with God. God first, God behind us, God within us. Always with him at the center of it. He is the reason for everything. He's the one that knows the plan. He's the one that knows the outcome. He's the one that knows the result. He's the one that knows the ultimate accomplishment that we will never find out in this lifetime. I have no idea what lives are being touched in this moment by this yes. I have no idea. But I do know of a few. And I'm so grateful, because this yes has helped us to grow as a couple, as parents, as a person individually. Both of us has been an amazing journey to meet like-minded people here, more like-minded people. It's just amazing people that God has been placing in our path. I go back to the words I heard one afternoon while I was cooking in my home. I need you to leave everything you know, to go where I need you to go, and meet the people I need you to meet. Holy cow, you guys. Seeing this unfold makes me just want to cry. To have been in the places he wanted us to go, to have been meeting the people he needed us to meet. It's mind-blowing what he can do with our yes. So give him yours. All right, my loves. Until next time, God bless. Thank you so much for listening. If you are ready to dive deeper into creating an aligned life with God at the center of it all, I want to invite you to a one-on-one consultation call with me. This is your chance to explore what is possible for you and to take the next step towards living with more clarity, peace, and joy. Sign up today. The link is in the description. I also want to invite you to leave a review if you have been enjoying these episodes, and make sure to share it with a friend. That way God can reach more and more amazing Catholic women. All right, until next time, God bless.